This week, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to the Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware for a 400-lap race. In this video, I'm going to be giving you who I think has the best opportunity to win, picking some drivers to perform better this week than weeks past, and looking at some bets that I like to try and win some money. This video I'm releasing a day early as I'll be attending the race this weekend in Dover, and I won't have time to upload over the weekend as usual. I'm actually leaving Friday to head to the track for the entire weekend, so if you're going to Dover, let me know and maybe we can all meet up or something. The first driver that I feel strongly about is Ross Chastain. In the two races at Dover with the next-gen car, Ross has finished third and second. It's safe to say that if this trend continues, he'll finish first this year. But outside of that superstition, Ross has had a dominant car at Dover in both years. Last year he led 98 laps, and in 2022 he led 86 laps. Ross has come close before at this racetrack, and I really think he can get it done. He won last year on concrete at Nashville, and he can very well win at the concrete at Dover. Hopefully we get to see a melon smash on Sunday. Next up on my list of ones to watch for Sunday is Denny Hamlin. In the last two races with the next-gen car, Denny has won top 5. In 2022 he had a great car and led some laps, but was taken out by a lap car which wrecked on the front stretch. This resulted in his poor finish. The 2022 finish does not reflect how well he ran in that race. On top of this, Denny won Bristol earlier this year and the Bristol night race last year. Both of those, of course, are on concrete, but also the same aero and tire package is being used at Dover this week as it was in those Bristol races. Watch out for Denny on Sunday. Moving on, I would also watch out for William Byron on Sunday. Byron ran extremely well last year, leading 193 laps before he would lose the lead and Martin Truex Jr. would go on to win. This resulted in a 4th place finish. Byron finished poorly in 2022, but the performance last year, especially with that many laps led, says something about Byron's ability to navigate around Dover. He's one of the best drivers in the sport right now, and I can see him racking up another win and bringing his total for the year up to 4. Christopher Bell is the next driver on my watch list for Dover. In the last two races with the next-gen car at Dover, Bell had a 6th and a 4th. 2 top 10s is pretty solid over some of the other drivers on this list. If we were to look at average finish, Bell has one of the best. Bell is due for another win. He won at Phoenix earlier this year. Although this isn't the same short track package as that race, I still think Bell has what it takes to get his second win of the season. On top of that, Bell finished 10th at Bristol with the same tire package that we're running on Sunday. So again, this is a decent racetrack for Bell, and I really think he can win here. The final driver that I'm looking at to possibly win on Sunday is the number 48 of Alex Bowman. Bowman is the final driver at Hendrick that has yet to win this year, and I think Dover can be the place for him to finally punch through and win. In the one race he ran here with the next-gen car, he finished 5th. Bowman didn't run last year because he was injured, but the 48 car still finished inside the top 10 with Josh Berry driving it. The setup is clearly there to compete for a win at this track. I picked Bowman last week and he was close, and I'm picking him again this week. He has a win here back in 2021. I think it would be cool to see the 48 win on Sunday, with the former driver of the 48, Jimmy Johnson, also in this race. Now let's move on to drivers who are going to perform a lot better this Sunday than most of their other performances this season. The 3 drivers that will exceed expectations this week are Josh Berry, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Jimmy Johnson. Let's touch quickly on each of them. First up, Josh Berry. Last year he ran 10th in the 48 car, so he already has that next-gen experience at Dover. On top of that, Berry ran extremely well at Bristol this year and most short tracks this season. Berry is a previous winner at the Monster Mile in Xfinity, and I expect him to run inside the top 10 and no worse than 12th place. Next up is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky has actually had a pretty decent average finish at Dover in the next-gen car, compared to some other tracks, of course, because he doesn't typically run well at intermediates. He finished 2nd in 2022 and 15th in 2023. I expect the same result as 2023, and I think he'll finish inside the top 15, but no worse than 18th or 20th place. And that's a lot better because especially at tracks other than Talladega, he really struggles with the next-gen car. Finally, Jimmy Johnson. The expectations for Jimmy are pretty low as he only has one finish on the lead lap in a next-gen car race. Jimmy is an 11-time winner at Dover, so there's no discrediting his talent getting around Dover. If Jimmy can actually put a full race together and not crash out like usual or wreck in qualifying or practice and put himself in the back, I can see him running inside the top 15 and maybe, just maybe, he cracks the top 10. It's highly doubtable, believe me. I know people say he's washed, but there's just something about Jimmy. I think he's due for a strong run in the next-gen car, and 11 wins at Dover, this could be the track for him. The car can do it, and I still think Jimmy Johnson can do it. Now we're going to move into the betting portion of this video, and once again I do 2 parlays every week, and this week we have the top manufacturers, and then we have our head-to-head parlay that I like to do. Which is weird this week as DraftKings and Caesars are not allowing a lot of head-to-head legs, so I think we're going to really hammer the top manufacturers and do 3. So we're going to pick a top Toyota, a top Chevy, and a top Ford. So for this week, I like to look at value, and of course I said Alex Bowman, top Chevy, because I have him to win, Josh Berry to be top Ford because I expect him to run well, and then Christopher Bell to be the top Toyota. Now again, you don't have to parlay all these, but if you do, it would result in a pretty heavy payday. But if you wanted to change stuff around, I also looked at Alex Bowman as the top Chevy, Denny Hamlin as the top Toyota, and Josh Berry as the top Ford. I'm all in on Josh Berry, and I'm all in on Alex Bowman. The Toyota I'm not sure of, so you could switch that either way. Now let's look at the head-to-head bet. So for our head-to-head bet this week, I'm not using Caesars. I thought I was going to go back there after last week, but DraftKings for some reason has better legs. Now obviously this is before practice and qualifying, so use your judgment. Come race day, if you want to make a bet, you can obviously change it or use a different sports book, but for now we're going to use DraftKings because like I said, I have to get this video out before I get to the track. With that out of the way, let's look at the bet. We have Tyler Reddick over Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin over Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain over Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson over Chase Elliott, and Chris Buescher over Brad Keselowski. We have a lot of guys that I picked to go head-to-head with some other guys that I picked to win. So like this is going to be interesting because you have Ross Chastain versus Alex Bowman. I picked both of them to win. Christopher Bell versus Denny Hamlin. I picked both of them to win. So this is going to be a really interesting week for betting, but I really think this bet has the opportunity to win. 10 can win around $200. So there you have it. Let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen this weekend at Dover, who you like, who you don't like, any sleepers you guys are considering this week. Like I said, I will be in Dover for the weekend. I'll be staying at the Casino Hotel, so it'd be cool if we can get maybe a meetup with some people and just talk racing in person instead of in the YouTube comments. So let me know down below if you'll be at the track. And as always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.